Yeah, so far, no fails. So, what is so great about this headlamp? Well, first off, let's just say we're going to assume you have experience with headlamps. I don't think we need to sit here and go over all the other brands of headlamps when we say this one is a really good one. You know, you got Energizer and Husky and everything else at Home Depot. You got all the other knockoff brands, even Milwaukee, and I've seen like maybe Ryobi, DeWalt. This is the NEBO brand headlamp. And the number one thing that we really like about this, we're going to get into the cons at the end of the video, but the pros are going to come first. Number one thing is its dual power source. I should have the box here with me. Right here where it says Flex Power. It is called the CurveBeam 600 Flex. Here is what makes this thing stand out. If I can open this with one hand, all the other headlamps right here. It's got a really tight seal around the case, yes. Good, decent latch. But here is winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is just a regular USB-C port to charge this battery. I'll throw a clip in there right now of charging the battery. This little light right here will turn red when it's charging and green when it's charged. But you can also load this up with AAAs. What does that mean? Why is that good? Why is that amazing? Number one, why this is amazing is, let's just say like I'm gonna do, you go out into the woods, coyote hunting, snowmobiling. You know, this will actually get you home. If your headlight takes a crap, a headlamp will get you home, and you can put it right around your helmet or duct tape it or your head or whatever. But let's just say you go out in the woods, right? And your battery's fully charged. Perfect scenario, right? But then you use your headlamp so much, and I don't have enough experience here to tell you how long this battery lasts. It's not maybe as long as you'd think. I'm gonna go with 2 hours. I didn't test it, but I'm gonna go with 2 full hours on that. See if it shows runtime. Spot on high, 1.5, spot medium, 5.5. Yeah, so 2 hours is pretty good guess. But then how do you charge it? This sled's a 99. You can't charge it off this. It doesn't have a power port. You could wire that up, but are you really gonna do that? But what you can do is carry some AAAs with you. And swap your rechargeable battery out and put your AAAs in. And you're back in business, getting home. Maybe your headlight crapped out because you had a voltage regulator problem. Now you're getting home with light and mostly legal. Or say you were in a kayak. But let's put this back together and show you a couple other key features of this. Positive, pop it in, close it up. So after we covered the number one key feature here of the alternating battery use, let's just go over how it looks to be mostly waterproof. I don't think anything that's made overseas like this ever is truly waterproof, but there's simply 2 buttons on the back. They don't flash and call home and Bluetooth to your phone with an app you have to get. Simply 1 button here for this light, and there's 3 settings. 1, 2, 3, then off. The sweet thing with both buttons is, let's just say you leave it on for an extended period of time and you go to push it again, the light shuts off. It doesn't run through all the other settings. It shuts off. Let's see. I don't know how long that is. Let's see if this was long enough. There it is. All I did is push the button once. It didn't have to cycle through all the settings. Then the other button here, and they're at different heights. If you look close, see all the rubbers at different heights, if we get my fingers out of the way. So you can feel the taller button hits the side lights. And they have, I think, 2 settings. Bright, medium, and then off. Yes, 2 settings. Same thing though, if you hit them on and you wait a long enough period of time, I think we waited, what, 10 seconds on that last time? The next push of the button will simply turn them off. On the back of the battery pack, the back of the light where your head would be and say somebody's following you, there are these little battery indicator red LEDs. And that is more than enough to see if you're following somebody out in the dark. see this effortlessly if you look at that other video. If you turn everything on, you light up the night. Like, you can really see in the dark. And say you want to start working on your sled here, you got to change a belt or something, you can turn all this on and it just makes the whole hood glow underneath here. I think we're gonna have to throw some darkness to light videos in here with how impressive this is. All right, the camera is now on fisheye mode here, 0.5. We're gonna turn the garage lights on just so you can see what the garage looks like, what you're supposed to be able to see. Whole bunch of crap, right? But now we're gonna turn these lights off, and I'm gonna turn the headlamp off, and we'll just focus on the F-150 here. We'll come over here to the side. This would be a good shot. Headlamp going off. Total darkness. Just the 2 flood beams on the side going on. Highest setting. Second setting lower, and then off. Total darkness. Spotlight going on. See, much more of a spot than a flood. Second power level down, third power level down, and then off. Let's turn them both on. Flood beams on high, spot on high. Like, you can light up the whole garage. It's freaking nuts. But one other complaint here, sometimes you can't tell. I'm gonna go in the reflection of the truck here. You see the lights on my head? Sometimes it's difficult to tell in the daylight when you turn one off or one on. It's hard to tell which one's on and which one's off. Sometimes in the daylight, you gotta put your hand out in front to kind of see which light's on, which light's off. So sometimes what's easier is if you have the spotlight on in front and both floodlights on the side, and you don't remember which button it is, or you want to just shut them off, it's easier to just wait the 5 or 10 seconds so that the button will go from light to off and light to off without running through all the other settings of light brightness. But this is the NEBO brand. I've seen them be an up-and-coming brand here over the past few years. We've been testing them quite extensively. NEBO, you make an outstanding product, and people will come back to you as a company, as a customer, and buy more of your product. Insane how that works, right? I've already purchased other NEBO products already simply because of this light. And one of the other most attractive things about this exact light is the price point. This, what do you think this should cost? You know, you've seen crap like this with a Milwaukee logo on it for like $80. This is $39.99. That's crazy. And yes, after being now so satisfied with this NEBO purchase, $39.99, that's how it works. If you make a good product, people will come back and buy more of your stuff. But this 2-pack of headlamps, cut one off the package and gave it away to another user. This is not the dual power though. There's the focusing problem with the phone. You gotta go literally right under the light for the Apple to work. This is the Micro 250 headlamp and cap light. But when you make a good product, people tend to buy more of it. Amazing how that works. The small town where we picked these up, there was 6 of them in this small town at 2 different stores, a hardware store and like an outdoor sporting goods store. All 6 of them sold. We bought 4 and somebody else bought 2. So these things are getting popular. They're getting noticed, and for good reason. Next step here, let's cover the cons. All right, con number 1, I guess you could say, is the battery itself. If you don't have a USB-C charger and you don't have AAA batteries, well, then you're up you know what creek without a paddle. But plan for that. Next con would be the strap is one size fits no one. There's no adjustment on here. I have a fat head, and it would be nice to have adjustment on there, but I think that would raise the cost of this unit, and I like the $39.99 price tag more than I like an adjustable head strap. So we're going to just leave it at that and call that okay. The number 1 con for me is you cannot adjust the front light up and down. When it's on your head, that's the angle it's going to be. You can kind of make it ride higher or lower on your forehead to suit your needs, but it would be nice to be able to adjust this. That would be, I'd pay an extra $10 for this light. Now that I know how good it is, but that probably would have prevented me from buying it in the first place. If this was $49.99, probably would have stopped me from buying it in the first place to test it. But I'd like to see, now that I know how good these are, this swivel up and down to change the angle of the beam. So that's the only real cons. Non-adjustable strap, fixed beam, and if you don't have USB-C because you're still running 8 tracks in your 1986 whatever, that's about it.